Hi everyone. So, like I said yesterday, we were going to talk about more about Wizard of Oz since we're reading Dorothy Must Die. We just did our whole talk about dystopian novels. Now let's talk about our anchor text and where it originally is derived from. Because not everyone's seen The Wizard of Oz. It's not a classic. It is a classic, but not every family has seen this movie. It's beloved, but again, you never know. I figured we just talk about this and talk about all the iterations because there are a lot. And we'll get to that. If this thing will work. Come on. There we go. Back. So yeah, we're talking about Wizard of Oz, we're talking about Dorothy. Just getting a whole background on that. So what we're talking about today, we're doing a synopsis of the story with an authorial background. We're going to talk about the adaptations over the years. And we're going to talk about how it connects to our book. So The Wizard of Oz came out in 1900. Really long time ago. This book is considered ancient now, but there's a reason that it's still taught. So it was the first written in a series by Alfred Baum in 1900. There were 14 books about the Wizard of Oz. 14. 1, 4. This story goes more than just the 1939 movie we know. So it's about this girl named Dorothy. She's really little girl. In the book, she's 9 versus the movie where she's 15. I don't know. So, little girl named Dorothy, she's swept up by a tornado and taken to this magical land called Oz. She kills a wicked witch of the East on accident, is traveling to the Emerald City, is forced to kill another witch, that's the Wicked Witch of the West, because she took her sister's shoes on accident. There's a lot that goes on in the book. And it's way longer than the movie has ever been. So, but for timing, we're going to do the Spark Notes of this because there's a reason we're not teaching The Wizard of Oz. It is way longer than you actually think. You'd think it would be a couple-day read. No, it's a month. So, Dorothy, she makes some friends, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. They travel through many lands of Oz. There's, forest parts. There's a land made of, dining room china. There's a lot more. There's crows, there's munchkins, there's etc., etc. They're going to the Emerald City. Big place made of emeralds. They're talking to a wizard. The wizard is going to send them home. It's going to send Dorothy home, get the other ones what they wish, because why not? And then the group, they kill the witch, they're rewarded, and Dorothy gets sent home. So the lion, he's considered a coward, gets some courage. The Scarecrow, he gets a brain because he has always wanted one. He's just a sack of straw. He wants to have knowledge. And then the Tin Woodsman, he used to be a human, became a Tin Man, lost his heart. So he gets rewarded a heart. Alfred Baum himself. So from 1856 to 1919, man did not live that long, but he had a fulfilling life. So he wrote The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which is, again, what we're basing this off of. And important things about him is he was homeschooled as a kid because he had a heart condition, and he even tried going to school and it didn't turn out well for him, so he went back to homeschooling. So he wrote children's books and was a journalist his entire life. And he even created the Oz Film Manufacturing Company before he passed in 1919. He's one of the first reasons we actually got film. So now we're going to talk about adaptations because there are a lot. The Wizard of Oz is beloved, and understandably why. It's a cute little story about a girl just wanting to go home and making friends along the way. So adaptations, again, there are so many, but there are a million of adaptations. Some are similar, some are with a darker edge, some have different perspectives, And then, because the story is so beloved and timeless, it is easy for someone to just take it over and create their own version. Like, it's really easy with this one. Again, just imagine girl stuck in a tornado, sent to a magical land, makes friends with some people, has to meet a wizard and kill a witch. If you think about it, it's just the monomyth hero's journey thing, but we already talked about the hero's journey in this class, so you get it. But with the adaptations, again, there are so many. We've got like the 1939 movie, we've got Wicked, which just came out and is, well, the movies just came out, but the show on Broadway's been around for 20 plus years. We've got Dorothy Must Die, this book. We've got Tin Man, which is a show from like 2010 with only one season. You've got Oz the Great and Powerful, Return to Oz, Once Upon a Time, the TV show about like fairy tales. There was a random season where it was all about the Wizard of Oz instead of like the Grimm fairy tales. There's multiple versions by Tom and Jerry, you know, the cartoon of the cat and the mouse. They have multiple movies that are them in Oz for some reason. I don't know. There's The Wiz, there's The Muppets Wizard of Oz. You get my point. This story's been retold a lot, and it's never going to stop. There are probably going to be even more adaptations by the time, 2050 hits. So our book, we're reading Dorothy Must Die. So written in 2014, Danielle Page created her own story about another girl from Kansas, Amy Gum. So in this version, Oz is not a beautiful wonderland. It's an apocalyptic state where Dorothy took over and she rules with an iron fist. So the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion are no longer her friends. They're actually her minions, and they follow her every whim. Same with, like, the witches in the story, because there's, the good witch Glinda, who's went from her, like, confidant and turned into her right-hand man in power. And the wizard is not trusted as he shouldn't be, because canonically, he is a trickster, and he went back to the real world, came back to Oz. We'll talk about it when we actually read the book, but anyways, so Amy, our heroine, she joins the Revolutionary Order of the Wicked, so all the other witches, so the other folks that, like, want to take Dorothy down. So we'll talk more about them when we read the book, but there's Mombi, who's in the original story that never gets talked about in the movie. There's Gert, there's Nox, there's Glamora. Glinda has a twin named Glamora. This story takes a lot of fun twists with this idea. And Amy's job is to end Dorothy's reign of terror. So Amy is supposed to infiltrate the castle and kill Dorothy. That is the entire story. It's all about taking down this tyranny and taking down this just horrible person, which, again, picture that little face taking over a land. It is so fascinating, and I feel like we're going to really enjoy this book. I think the idea of taking the ecological dystopian and putting it in Oz, of all places, which is like the picture of a utopia, and because Oz is supposed to be this beautiful place where nothing bad ever happens, and taking it and turning it into basically an apocalypse and taking it and destroying the entire land because she's sucking the magic out of the land. Oh, I cannot wait for our class discussions on this book. So why did I choose this book? Like I just said, I think it's very fascinating, but it has, again, the idea of taking a utopia and turning it into a dystopia. So I want you guys to understand that things are not always what they seem, and it's important to look deeper into the surface. Again, you think Oz, you think beautiful, happy land, And then you look farther in, and it is completely destroyed. It is under a weird tyranny. It's under a giant power dichotomy. Because if you don't have magic, you're screwed in this land, basically. But Amy has always, again, she thought Oz was amazing. She wanted to get out of Kansas because her life she was struggling. She wanted to find a utopia. She lands in Oz, and it is absolutely destroyed. It is disgusting to walk through. So she, along with many other people, are trying to make it back into that utopia, trying to fix the land, basically. So, we're going to start reading. That's just the basic history of the Wizard of Oz. Because I feel like if you had some background knowledge on the Wizard of Oz, that does help you. Just so you can get an image of the place. It's, again, beautiful, yellow brick road. Imagine, flowers everywhere and talking trees for some reason. And, like, animals that talk. Think of this beautiful wonderland, this place where a child, befriended a bunch of people and learned the importance of family and home, and take it and completely destroy it. I would love to get your opinions as we read, so let's get reading.